What's going on, guys? We have hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, so you make sure you check down in the description below so that you can find out how to get entered into all the giveaways we're going to be doing on the night we do the live for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway party. Also, if you're interested in a SmallTown Collectibles comic book mystery box, you can find that down in the description below as well, and a discount code with Street Level Hero LA where you can get 10% off your order and raise some money for a great cause. It is another beautiful day here in the hills of eastern Kentucky, and it's Tuesday, so it's time for the first appearances and key issues for the greatest day of the week. New Comic Book Day, September 15th, 2021. So let's get started. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr, and this is the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. So before we jump into the covers and the first appearances and all the key issues this week on New Comic Book Day, if you haven't already, hit that subscription button, turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up button. And as I say every week, if I'm missing any books or if there's any books that you're reading that maybe I should be looking into or maybe somebody that's reading the comments might look into, make sure you leave that in the comments below. I want this to be a discussion between myself and the community. I say that every week, and I mean it. A lot of good books have been recommended to me through the comments on these videos, and I really appreciate that. All right, so with all that stuff out of the way, let's jump into our first category this week, and that's going to be our covers. So I don't have a ton of covers this week. Really, overall, pretty much everything kind of seemed like a light week. But I did find a few covers that I liked, and the first one is Batman Urban Legends #7, the Francesco Mattina cover. Really dig the way this one looks. And Batman Beyond is another one of those characters that you can get a lot of pretty cool covers for, but I really dig what Mattina did here with the colors. I love that purple background. And Batman Beyond kind of standing in the middle with all the bats flying around him. I think that one's a really, really cool cover. So next up from Marvel, we have Iron Man #12, and this is the Miles Morales 10th anniversary variant. Very, very cool looking cover. You got Miles at the turntable. Looks like he's spinning some tunes. You got a little Iron Man bobblehead on there. Just a really cool looking cover, and really anything Miles Morales, especially a 10th anniversary variant. Definitely something I'm going to include on my covers list, and definitely a beautiful cover on this one. And then our last cover for the week is from the King himself, and that is Fantastic Four #35, the Cover G Incentive Jack Kirby Hidden Gem variant. This is a 1 in 100 cover, and it is a gorgeous cover from the man himself, Jack Kirby. Kirby, I don't know if I talk about it on here or not, but Kirby is probably my favorite. Like, I love Jack Kirby. New Gods, Mr. Miracle. I'm a DC guy. Of course, he has a lot of fame for his work over at Marvel and what he did with Stan Lee, but his work over at DC is some of my favorite art, some of my favorite stories. And so, yeah, there's a Jack Kirby Hidden Gem variant. It's definitely going on my list. For my channel anyway. So yeah, if that's one you dig, you can pick that up. It's going to be expensive, but you can grab that one. But it's a really, really cool cover. All right, that's it for the covers this week, guys. So we're going to jump on over to our second printings. And I just have one this week, and this is White #1, the third print. White, as I've said on here many times, very, very hot book on the secondary market because of the limited print run. I personally did not really dig the story. I read the first couple of issues. It just not for me. And so I'll probably give it another read, maybe read issue 3 just to see if it changes a little bit. But if you're into this title and you like to collect the various printings of the books, you got a third print for White #1 out this week. So that's it for the multiple printings this week. So we're going to go ahead and jump on over into our key issues. And of course, as I always start this segment off, kind of telling you about some books that are out that I'm not necessarily highlighting in the video, but that I'm reading and that I love and that you may want to check out. And first, we've got Batman '89 #2. I absolutely love the first one. I love the first Superman, 78, I think it is. Just loved both of those. Batman 89 number 2 is out this week. Joker number 7, another book that I'm really, really digging. I've loved every issue up to this point. Pennyworth number 2, kind of a backstory for Alfred. Really, really enjoyed the first one. Can't wait to read the second one. And then Superman and the Authority number 3. Now, of course, I'm a Superman homer, but I've really enjoyed this story. Superman kind of compiles this team of misfits as he's losing his powers to kind of help him do some good in the world. Then we've got Kane the Conqueror number 2 out this week. I like the first one well enough to go ahead and read the second one. And then last up, X-Men Trial of Magneto number 2. I really enjoyed the first issue of that and looking forward to jumping into this one as well. So let's jump on over into DC. And the first book is Batman Urban Legends number 7. This is an anthology of stories featuring Cassandra Cain, Batman Beyond, and Batman 1 Million. Then we have Future State, Gotham number 5, where in this book you get the origin of Warmonger. We have a new title out under the Titans, label, and that is Titans United number 1. This is a 7-issue limited series. So if you're into the Titans and you're looking for something to jump into, this could be a cool read. Then you've got Harley Quinn, the animated series, the Eat, Bang, Kill Tour number 1. And it's a team up of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy featured in a road trip adventure. So that could be kind of fun. I'm not necessarily a huge Poison Ivy person, or really Harley Quinn for that matter, but it's kind of like the Blue Beetle Booster Gold title. It's kind of like the buddy cop, type deal. And this could be a fun read. So I may pick it up and glance through it just to see if I like it. But if you're into Harley, into Poison Ivy, sounds like you got a pretty fun title coming up. So that's all our DC titles this week. Let's jump on into Marvel. And the first one is Eternals, Thanos Rises number 1. In this book, you get the origin of Thanos, specifically the civil war that led to his creation. This is a one-shot, but I think this could be a fun read, and I probably will pick this up because I dig Thanos as a character. To kind of reread his origin and specifically that civil war, I think that sounds pretty cool. Then you've got, of course, these one-shots that are continuing to come out under the Extreme Carnage banner. Extreme Carnage Agony number 1, and this is a one-shot featuring Agony. And wrapping up Marvel, Last Annihilation, Wakanda number 1, M'Baku takes on a heroic role. So again, another one-shot, just kind of a standalone story that if you're into Black Panther might be a cool one to pick up. With the big 2 out of the way, let's jump into our indie keys this week. And the first one is from Boom Studios, and that is Maw number 1. The synopsis reads, after a woman becomes the victim of an assault, the violent encounter awakens something in her, triggering warped mutations and awakening a hunger she can't bring herself to name. So that sounds kind of wicked. Another horror type book from Boom Studios. I think that one could be a good one this week, and that's Maw number 1. Then we go over to Image and a book that I'm kind of looking forward to reading, and that is Primordial number 1. This is a 6-issue limited series that takes place during the Cold War when a dog and 2 monkeys that were launched into space return to Earth after being taken, then released by an unknown abductor. So essentially, they shot them up into space, they never returned, and they didn't really know what happened to them. So apparently somebody grabbed them, and now they've brought them back and turned them loose. So I think that could be kind of cool. Again, Image is one of those studios that kind of releases, when they release this type of book, it's generally pretty good. So I am looking forward to reading Primordial number 1. Then from Behemoth Studios, we've got Nobody's Child number 1. Synopsis on this one is a boy dedicates his life to protecting the one returning albino rhinoceros whose genetic code unlocks the key to heal all of man's diseases. So that could be interesting. Again, Behemoth, I kind of dig their titles. Most of the time I enjoy the read when they put out something like this. So I'm definitely going to pick this one up, give it a flip through, see what it looks like, and maybe make a purchase. And for all our Hellboy fans out there, Dark Horse Studios has Hellboy in the BPRD 1957 Family Ties number 1. Unraveling the mystery of an unwanted house guest may lead Hellboy and the BPRD right to where they wanted to be, but also right into demonic danger. Now, I'm not a big Hellboy reader. I like the movies. But again, this is another one I may pick up and flip through just to see if I like it. I wouldn't care to read some Hellboy. I know a lot of people really love it, so I may check this one out. You may want to as well. So wrapping up the indie list this week, and a title that I don't know has ever been on here, from Dynamite Studios. You have a new Vampirella title this week, and it's called The Vampiverse #1. Something is killing Vampirellas from across the multiverse and absorbing their life force while growing in power. So, if you're a Vampirella fan, got a new title. The Vampiverse is coming out. It's really not for me, but it is a #1 issue. And if you're watching this channel and you like Vampirella, I wanted to let you know it was out there. So I said was wrapping up the indie section, and as far as like single issues, I am. But there is a trade paperback coming out this week that I do want to mention, and that is Stray Dogs, the trade paperback. Everybody knows Stray Dogs. What a great, great story. And you're getting the collected issues 1 through 6 and trade this week. You've got your basic, like the cover for #1 is, I guess, kind of like the basic cover, and that's a cost of $16.99. But there are a ton of store exclusives for this one. You've got a store exclusive limited to 300 copies that is inspired by the Lost Boys, which I really dig. You've got a couple of books by Trish Forrester. One limited 750 copies that's inspired by Goosebumps. It also includes a glow-in-the-dark art print inspired by a movie poster for It. That is, of course, a store exclusive. And then you've got another one from Forrester that is inspired by Halloween 3, and it is also limited to 300 copies. And the last one is inspired by The Howling, and it is also limited to 300 copies. So I looked everywhere for some of these variants online and couldn't find them anywhere, but I was able to find them on eBay at really jacked up prices. So if you're into Stray Dogs, or if you didn't get to read Stray Dogs, maybe you just grab the basic cover and give that a read. But if you're really into it and you don't care to spend the cash to get them, you can grab one of these variant covers. All right, guys, so that wraps up the key issues. Let's jump on into the first appearances, and our first book this week is from DC, and that is Batman Nightwatch Bat-Tech Special Edition #1, where you get the first team appearance of Nightwatch, a network of informants and spies to aid the Bat family. Then we jump over to Marvel with Mighty Valkyries #5, where you get the first team appearance of a new pantheon of gods as adults or formidable antagonists. So I couldn't get any specifics on that one. That was the best I could do as far as finding the description, but you may want to check out the Mighty Valkyries #5 just to see what that's about. Then we've got Star Wars, The War of the Bounty Hunters, Boosh #1, where you get the first full appearance of Boosh. Aside from a cameo in Star Wars Adventures #3, previous appearances of Boosh were Princess Leia in disguise, and you also get a cover appearance of other UB's bounty hunters. And then wrapping up the first appearances, and probably what I think is one of the most important books of the week, is Fantastic Four #35, where you get the first appearance of Sion, the last descendant of Kang. This book is a 96-page 60th anniversary special for the Fantastic Four, and it has the origin of the Fantastic Four in a backup story by Mark Waid with some new details. So with all the Kang spec that's going on, that came out of Loki, the first appearance of Sion being his last descendant, especially with, kind of the talk in Loki about all these different versions of Kang coming about, a character like Sion could easily show up. And so I think that's a definite grab this week. I believe the cover price on it's $9.99, but that's not awful considering it's an anniversary issue and it's a 96-pager. So I think that's one you definitely ought to be on the lookout for if you're into first appearances. I know that's one I'm going to be grabbing for sure. All right, guys, that is the list for the week. Kind of a slow week, really, in my opinion. Not a ton of key books. I had a little more trouble finding covers this week and books to consider key issues, but still, nonetheless, a good list, I think, with some good titles, and you got a lot of one-shots where you can get some good reading done and maybe read some good stories. So, all right, that's it, guys. Remember, check the description below. Find out how to get into the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I have hit that mark. and we're going to have a big party here probably in a few weeks. Just want to make sure that the subs hold before I do the actual giveaway and announce it. Of course, the mystery boxes and the street level hero LA code. Yeah, that's it, guys. I really appreciate you coming over and spending a little bit of your day with me here on the channel. Hope you have the greatest new comic book day ever. I know I'm going to have a good one. As I always end these things, until next time.